Welcome to the StrayTopix podcast, where you're here with the star of the show, me, the millennial.
Yep.
And I got over here the mic whisperer.
That's me.
Abe Walker, if you didn't know. And then we got the old goat.
Yeah.
Greatest of all Troys.
That's right. Thanks, Eddie.
Yeah, I gave you a compliment. That's because I complimented myself even higher.
But see, nobody believed it.
Oh, they believe it.
No, they know. And what was this last night? Your parents were saying, "Who's he calling my son a millennial?" Is your mama still trying to take up for you?
She was.
Well, that's good. I'm glad mama's still trying to take up for you. That's awesome.
Just for you folks, I am a mama's boy.
You need all the help you can get.
I need all the help. I do. Please help me out. Send some comments to this old goat and this mic whisperer over here.
Hey.
Tell them how it is.
I do my best.
Us millennials got to stand up or sit down and be lazy, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, well, we won't go there. Well, anyway, welcome to the StrayTopix. Before we get started, Eddie can't remember to say all this, so I'll say it for him. Visit our website at StrayTopix.com. Leave us a comment. We've got an email out there, info@StrayTopix.com. Go to our Facebook page, Facebook.com/StrayTopix. You can leave us comments there. Or we have a Twitter page, Twitter.com/StrayTopix.
Imagine that.
Imagine. Leave us a comment. We've got a blog out there. We're not putting a lot on it. We need to. We still haven't put the picture of the red light.
You're not allowed to go anywhere. So,
I know. That's
you
right.
Can't take pictures.
Quarantined. That's true.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you do get a chance, and for the ones that have, we have had some people leave comments. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Yep.
And we appreciate the listeners out there. We seem to have picked up some states.
Our friend from Mexico's back. Yes, we have picked up a few states. Texas.
Oregon?
Oregon was one.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah. So
what about cross seas? We still there?
No, we got nobody except UK. UK.
We still have two listeners in the UK.
No, nobody in the other parts of Europe though.
Yeah,
just Spain at one time.
Yeah,
but that was probably a fluke.
I don't know. Maybe he'll come back.
Maybe
or she.
The person from Mexico. So
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
but we really appreciate you guys listening. We enjoy doing this, and if you listen, it kind of makes us feel like that we're doing it for the right reason.
Like somebody's listening.
Yeah.
So, Abe,
yes.
What is the topic of this day?
So the topic today we're going to be talking about is cutting the cord.
The umbilical cord?
No, not quite.
Yeah.
The cable.
Oh, sorry.
The TV
We shouldn't
cord.
say that. Millennial doesn't know what an umbilical cord is.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he does too. How many children do you have, son?
I have two, but I could not cut the first one. They forced me to cut the second one.
Did you faint?
I did not faint,
Did you get
but I almost didn't look. So
okay, well,
you better look. You might cut something else.
I know. I had to look for that reason, but it was freaky.
And he was a boy this time, so you better.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to be talking about cutting the cord, meaning the cable TV cord. A lot of people are going to do this new streaming stuff. People are trying to get away from cable company, the boxes and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Which is good.
There are several ways to get television now, and we're going to cover those, and we're going to talk about some of the gray
areas.
That's right, and maybe about some of the equipment you'll need and stuff such as that. So let's get started with the current forms of ways to get television.
I mean, most people, from the old days before there was antennas.
Yes.
A lot of people got their TV through the cable company, which means you got to have a cable box and you got to have somebody come out to your house and run the cable wires and all that stuff.
Right.
Just to set you up so that you can watch TV. And used to, before they had the cable boxes, you got cable, you could run it anywhere in your house you wanted there was no extra cost.
Right.
But now you got to, since everything's digital, you got to have the cable boxes, and that's where the cable company makes their money. Really.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They rent you these boxes for, anywhere, depending on if you have a DVR or not, they could be anywhere from $4 up to $12 a month.
Just for the box.
Per box.
Yeah.
And also they tell you, they give you like a package of what channels you can have, and normally the channels you want are the ones that are up there in the higher range.
The higher tier. Well, just to start out though, what do you use to watch TV?
Okay, I use
Millennial.
He's a freeloader right now.
I'm sure.
I am a little bit of a freeloader, but I have cut the cord.
That's a millennial in him.
I cut the cord about 2 or 3 years ago. I feel like I'm in an AA meeting right now. I cut the cord about 2 or 3 years ago.
Hi, my name's Millennial, and
I'm 2 years out.
I've been 2 years out of cable.
So I've done that, and right now, when I went back to Verizon, I've got Apple TV free for about a year. I've got Disney Plus free for about a year. I'm borrowing someone's YouTube TV a little bit. Well, he offered, so I took it.
Of course.
And then I used some Sling from another person's stuff.
Okay, so Millennial is a freeloader.
He's a double freeloader.
All right.
But I don't watch TV really a lot. It's really for my wife and kids.
Sure.
I normally am like watching movies off Netflix. That's another one I do.
Millennials.
Are you freeloading that one too? Oh, he's a triple
I'm
freeloader.
about to be. I wasn't, but I'm about to
You're
be.
freeloading
But
Netflix too?
I'm offering my stuff that I bought too.
Well, we should have skipped you. Abe, what do you use?
Well, I'm actually paying for
YouTube?
YouTube TV for everybody
Sucker.
else.
Sucker.
And pretty much that's it. I mean, I use YouTube for my everyday TV stuff. I've tried some of the others. I haven't really done the Hulu Live stuff.
It's pretty good too.
Or Sling, for that matter. I'm not a slinger.
Yeah, it's good too.
Or a swinger.
Or a swinger.
Yeah, that's probably
That's
good.
funny how they try to make those commercials sound like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to sling tonight.
I've never seen it.
You haven't? Well,
I don't watch TV a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But you freeload off everything.
I don't watch it,
think-
but I do take it.
I was using something else before you turned me on to YouTube TV.
You was with Charter for a while.
I was using Charter
Yeah.
streaming app. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah, and it's terrible. I don't know how a cable company can make such a terrible streaming app.
Oh, well. Well, I'm a YouTuber. I do subscribe to YouTube, YouTube TV. It wasn't available here until, about a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago. I used to be a DirecTV kind of guy, and I think you were too at one time.
Yeah, I had DirecTV for 2 years, and thank God I got rid of that.
Yeah.
crap.
Not me.
So before we get started, now everybody knows kind of what we have, what we use. Let's talk about let's go through the types. You've got the antenna, which is the cheapest
Over the
air, free, legal option out
Digital.
there.
And people
Digital.
still do it today. They still
Yes.
have an antenna. So.
Listen, with an antenna, you can get HD channels, and you can get HD like channel 8.1.2. Some secondary channels that you can't get
That's true.
with YouTube or any of the streaming services. So the local antenna is a great thing.
So I want to ask real quick, Abe, did you ever have to go up on the roof and fix the antenna?
Not with digital, but with the analog, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
used
still
to
did?
a long time.
I
You
met your
didn't go
parents
up
sending
on.
you up
No, you didn't go up on
wearing
the
10
roof.
full hats.
You had a pole that
That
went
you
all the way
turned,
up,
yeah.
and you just turned the pole.
And if you were lucky, you had a rotator that you could turn on the inside, and it would turn the thing for you.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
fancy.
really cool. That's fancy.
My father-in-law still has an antenna, and he has like a button, and from the inside that'll twist.
Turn
and
it, yeah. But like we said, the antenna, the free option,
Yep.
Yeah.
pros of the antenna, HD, free,
Free, totally
multiple
free.
channels of
I
8.1,
think you
2,
can
3,
probably pick up about 20
Yeah.
channels.
local, and
Yeah.
you get pretty much all the local channels,
Mm-hmm.
and again, it's free.
I guess
The only drawbacks, the cons,
Yeah,
is you need to be close enough to the town,
yeah.
nearest town you want to pick,
Don't have a lot of trees.
not have a lot of trees, have a good line of sight that way, and depending on how far out you are, you may need an amplified antenna.
and you may need to wear a
True.
10 full hat.
You may.
That's for aliens.
Yeah, that's for aliens.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah. But the over-the-air antenna being free and HD, it's not really a bad gig
You know,
if you're close enough to town to do it.
A long time ago, I had a satellite called Zoom, or no, Voom. It was Voom, VOOM.
Boom.
It was the only HD satellite company at the time before DirecTV, and the rest of them got it. And you got locals, but the way they give you the locals is they put a digital over-the-air antenna on your house, and they feed that into their Voom, I guess, satellite box somehow. So you had 6, 8, and 10 just like you normally would, but you were actually getting it over the air instead of, And I still have that antenna up on top of the roof and can still use it. I have used it a time or two.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
over the air, a nice option for people who
Yeah.
want just locals, don't care anything about the special channels. Now, the second options, let's talk about cable. And let's talk about DirecTV, which are the next two.
I had Dish.
Dish, and the next 2 or 3 options there that actually come out to your home and install something and you watch it. Cable TV in our area, it's Charter.
Yep.
I don't know. I think in Knoxville they've got Comcast.
Yeah.
They've got Comcast, which I've heard good and bad things about Comcast.
Right.
You know, I mean, to me, they seem like they carry pretty good stuff, and they've got really good inside Wi-Fi stuff for your home and that kind of stuff. But their customer service, from what I hear, is hideous. So.
Yeah. I don't know anything about them. I just know that that's what's in Knoxville. I don't know what's in. I think Charter's in Kingsport in Johnson City.
Yeah, it is.
So those are the 2 cable companies. The pros of the cable is they run it to your home. They pipe it into you.
It doesn't go out.
It doesn't go in and out usually. And one of the pros to cable is normally cable companies provide internet access as well. And so if you can get cable, you can usually get internet. Now you can get it without the cable, but the reason I say that is there's some areas in where we live here where you can't get cable.
No, you can't. You have to pay extra to have them run the lines out.
And
it's
some
expensive.
people, some won't do it. I have a friend that lived the cable went along the highway, and he lived off the highway. He lives it's
not
a pretty
cheap.
good. It's several hundred feet off the highway.
Yeah.
And there's 1, 2, 3, about 4 houses up in that area where he lives, and he wanted cable. Well, actually, he wanted internet, and they came out and looked, and it was unbelievable. It was like $3,000 or something. He's going to charge him to run the wire, just to run it up there, and then he was going to have to subscribe on top of that. And
what did he wind up doing?
well, it's very funny. And internet now is being provided not only by cable companies but by electric cooperatives as well.
Yeah, I got it.
And he is on Holston like you, Eddie.
I am, yeah.
And Holston has their internet running now.
See, the thing is,
and so they
it's cheaper.
turned him on and gave him a gig internet up and down.
It's cheaper.
For what, $60, $70, something like that a
50.
month?
Starts at 50,
whatever. And he would have been happy just to have Charter to do that, and he would have been a Charter customer and would have stayed with them. But now he told me, he said it's going to be funny when Holston turns this on and Charter comes out and wants to knock on the door and say, "Hey, we can get you internet up here now." He's probably just going to slam the door in their face because they didn't offer to do it before Holston came around.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you're going to see that a lot. I think these electric company, even Appalachia's doing some fiber. They've started like on the other end of the county, toward closer to Knoxville.
Yeah, I know, down around Blaine. Right. And you know what? I'm going to say this, and it's kind of, again, and I don't care. Appalachia, if you're listening, I don't care. You suck. They do.
Blank, huh?
I mean, it is what it is. The power goes out every other day. They're the last to the game for the internet. Holston's already got it. Morristown Utilities has already got it in Hamlin County.
Yeah. I wonder why they don't go outside of Hamlin County.
Yeah, well, outside the city.
You would think they could do some deals with the counties. And
they probably will down the line because Lord knows that
they can't grow any bigger.
Yeah. But Appalachian is the last to the game.
Yeah.
And they're dragging their feet.
Yep.
Dragging their feet.
It's money wasted, I think.
And you know, I got to say, if it was available at my place, I'd been on it. I'd been the first customer on it.
I'd be on it.
And I'd have one of their highest tiers.
Yep.
Because I like to do a lot of streaming. I do a lot of podcasts. I do a lot of streaming, do a lot of live streaming. We're fixing to get into that.
Yep.
I would have went with the highest tier they got, but they're dragging their feet. Now, when they do have it, Charter's still available. I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to weigh the option and see which one, which one gives me the better service.
You know it's going to be fiber, though.
Well, I'm going to love it if they ever get it.
You get the up and down with fiber.
But I don't know if they're ever going to get it, man.
I know.
I mean, by the time they get it, I may be dead. I don't have a long time. I am the fossil.
You only got a few more years.
Yeah, so.
I'm surprised, Charter doesn't do fiber, to be honest, to start running fiber.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm guessing because all of it's already been run. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I get it.
If you think about it, I mean, fiber's, you got a lot more backhaul.
They're going to have to start.
They're going to run out of, they're doing a lot of, what do they call it, channel binding.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
to get these speeds they're getting. and they're eventually going to run out of capacity.
Yeah.
I do think that eventually it's only going to be internet. Why everybody has it? Because I mean, it's everybody. I know I'm not trying to jump the gun, but what's the
even
point
Charter's
of
going that way.
TV? Yeah, what's the point of TV now when you can just get it across? You don't have to have wires in the house.
Well, that's going to bring us to the next point down here when we get to streaming media. But right now, we're still talking about cable. Cable company, Charter, running the wire to your house.
Mm-hmm.
You have Charter, and the pros of Charter, like I said, they bring it to your home, they hook it up for you.
Yeah.
It never goes out usually.
Except if a squirrel gets in one of them.
Or somebody comes up to unhook your neighbor and unhook you instead.
That happens. But nevertheless,
That's funny.
it's that's the pros to it. The cons is it's so much per month.
Yeah.
Another pro to it is you get the cable channels that you won't get over the air.
Right.
A&E, whatever, True TV, whatever you watch.
History, all that junk.
There's
The
other,
Food Network,
There's other
yeah.
cons too, I think, to it, because like the cable itself, we know us being IT people, we would love to have cordless. Like if you look on the table, you can see the cords and stuff. It'd be nice if it was cordless. You didn't have it. It looked neat. Obviously, with Charter, you got all the cords that they have to run. They have to put holes in your wall, holes in your floors.
Yeah.
That's
holes
true.
And then if they put it on the outside of your house, it looks tacky. It doesn't.
And you
look
got a
good.
wire stuck to the side of your house.
That's
Yeah,
the part you have to deal with.
that's true. But then again, they have to get a wire in there somehow to get you internet.
You're right.
So,
You're absolutely right.
So there you go. And then if you're going to talk about once you get it in, you've got Wi-Fi. Well, you do, but then you're going to suffer speed-wise, and you know all about this.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm speaking from this is I used to work at Charter a long time ago, and I remember working at this one guy's house. And
I wish you still worked there.
well, I had free internet.
So you could get your modem?
Actually, so I could get his job.
I had free internet, free TV, and all that, so it was nice. But I remember going to this one guy's house, and I didn't realize that his flooring, when I was putting the holes in the floor, didn't realize it didn't come all the way back to this room. It was so close, I couldn't tell. So I ended up putting 3 holes in his ground, or in his floor. Went down and finally figured out I wasn't going to reach it. It was just going into somewhere else. But I felt horrible. And I told the guy, but it was okay because his dog ended up biting me. So it was like it both canceled each other's self out.
Okay.
Cancel itself out. So, but anyways, it is. You
So
don't
you-
know what you're getting when you have.
So
somebody
you're saying
come in.
you lucked out by the dog biting you?
Yes, I did actually. I was thankful.
Okay, so we got cable and the pros and the cons.
Yeah.
Same thing for DirecTV. There's
Yeah.
one other con, 2 extra cons for DirecTV. DirecTV, of course, they got to come out and put that giant dish
Yeah.
somewhere on your
It
house
used to
or
be
on your
massive.
ground. Yeah,
Right.
and it's still pretty big if you
Still
get
pretty
if
big,
you get everything. Then you got to pay extra for services,
box.
DVR service, and that's the same thing with Charter. You got to pay extra for the service, but you and you got to buy the box too.
box,
Yeah,
yeah.
so there's a con. But 2 of the major cons is rain fade
Oh,
that you don't get with cable.
Tree
when
fade.
and tree fade, whatever you want to call it. If it rains hard enough, and it doesn't have to rain real hard, you'll be watching some sporting event and it'll rain, and then you're
That's annoying.
you're done. You're not watching it anymore.
I'll tell you this: where I used to live at, I had dish, and I set it, and it was open, no trees or nothing, and even through the rain, I never had nothing drop ever.
Really?
It was probably the
they
best.
did
I'd had.
mine. They put it on my house, and had a clear line of sight. Everything else, well, after about a year, the trees had grown up and
Yeah,
blocked it.
yeah.
So it was really crappy after
Oh,
that.
I bet.
And that's not DirecTV's fault. I guess maybe you
No.
should saw your tree down or something. But nevertheless,
Well,
it is a pain when
not
you're
my tree.
when you're trying to watch a
Yeah.
a sporting event, something that you've been waiting to watch, and
It's
then it
going
just
south.
drops out,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
Dish is
it's
same.
horrible.
Dish suffers the same way.
Dish suffers the same way.
Yeah.
And then cost. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
Dude, it's my father-in-law right now. He has DirecTV, and I've been trying to get him over to streaming media. He's paying $170 a month, and I'm like, dude, you need to get internet.
That's without internet, right?
No, yeah, that's without internet. That's just TV. Now, granted, he has all the channels,
Still.
but still, my God, I said, dude, you can get Charter for about $69 a month. I said, you can use my YouTube TV, which don't cost you nothing,
Right.
because you can have 6
Yeah.
family members on your thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And as Eddie knows.
Yeah.
And, he could come out because he's on a very limited income.
Right.
He don't have a lot of money.
Absolutely.
That could give him an extra $100 a month to buy groceries.
It's unbelievable. They're so
Yeah.
expensive. I think we were paying upwards of $300 and something a month
It's
for
insane.
television. That was crazy. So that's the sucky part of DirecTV.
Yeah, it is.
and you know those guys. You ever go to Sam's and those guys are down there trying to sell it. And they want you to stop. Yeah.
And they're pushy too.
Yeah.
What do you got? Well, I got something better. Well, let me try this. Try this.
Yeah, he
It's
goes,
sure.
I walked through there last time because I really hate DirecTV because of all this. And I walked through there and he's like, hey, man. He goes, what kind of service you got? I said, I ain't got DirecTV. And he goes, oh, I can make you a good deal. I said, no. I said, I had too many problems. He goes, oh, we could fix that. I said, no, not unless you're going to come out of my house and cut down some trees. I don't think so.
Yeah.
The tree problem.
Yeah. They're all the time trying to push and
So much of crap.
I hate DirecTV too. Really.
Well, what makes me so mad, DirecTV, when it used to be just DirecTV, was okay.
When AT&T bought it,
When AT&T bought it, and they're trying to market it like it's one service,
Yeah.
but yet it's two separate companies trying to work together like they're one.
Yeah.
So you'll call in about one thing, oh, you'll have to talk to them.
Yeah.
And then they'll transfer over there, and then, oh, no, you got to talk to AT&T.
And AT&T, you know, and I'm an AT&T subscriber. I am, but they piss me off because now they want to sell DirecTV more than they want to sell cell service.
Yep.
Interesting.
Because there's no growth.
And
anymore.
there is a thing going around that the best company to get with as far as phones go, not only because of Signal, but is Verizon. And the reason is because they're not dealing in video or in TV.
They are part with Comcast, but I don't ever hear anything about them doing that stuff.
But the thing about it is, man, you know, you're right. I think they're more
They are.
inclined or more. They want to sell more DirecTV than they do actual telephones or service. So
That's frustrating.
yeah, and so where are you at, DirecTV? Where's your allegiance?
Yeah.
Are you still in the game? Are you still inventing for phones? Are you still pushing 5G? Or are you just waiting around till somebody else figures that out and then just riding on the back?
Piggyback.
So I don't know.
It would
Kinda
be
makes me
nice
mad.
if we come to some point where all cell companies, not to get off on cell companies, but will use the same towers.
Yeah, it would be cool.
And then they
should
could
use the
really
same one.
compete, you know?
It's not getting off because phones, we ain't trying to get jump ahead, but you can watch Netflix and everything on your phone. So, I mean,
That's true.
technically it's all tied together now. I mean, it's
So
getting that way.
I'm a big, I don't know, man. Cell companies, especially AT&T, sometimes wears me out. I hope that they get it together and they start doing what they need to do. And you know,
I wish we'd get to a point where you could, I mean, you look at, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but I can't help it. You look at your phones, you can watch the stuff on your phones. You shouldn't have to have a wire ran to your house. You should be able to have a cell tower that is close by or something like that, because I could watch this
welcome
at
to
my house.
5G. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
the
think
whole
that's-
concept of 5G.
yes,
They're going to
where
put
we're
a
heading.
tower on everybody's corner of their home.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice,
And that
though?
way, well, yeah, it would, but because cell signal will be everywhere,
Yeah.
and it would be screaming fast, and it is fast. So yeah,
So
I'm for it.
for the public out there, if you're doing this to save money, if you're cutting the cord, unless you're doing over the air, if you're cutting the cord to do streaming, you're not really going to save a ton of money cutting the cord. And because yes, you'll save the money on the cable boxes and the rentals and all that stuff. But you're still going to pay about $50 a month for a decent amount of channels.
You're going to pay for service. I mean, and that's understandable.
For
I
me,
mean,
it's
nobody's
about
gonna do it for free.
choice.
It
Yes,
is.
exactly.
And
better quality
the
stuff,
wireless stuff.
And being able
because-
to do it wherever I want. You know,
Right.
DirecTV there for a while, and I think you can now. They've got the app that'll stream to the to the phone. But
Now there's
there was a
some
while
delay.
that you couldn't even do that. It was just you watched it at home.
Yeah.
And a matter of fact, they locked out certain channels even on your phone, so you couldn't watch them if you were out and about, which was totally stupid.
I noticed AT&T's doing the streaming boxes now, where they'll stream their DirecTV garbage to your streaming box, kind of like YouTube TV and the rest of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to get into that game too, because they realize there's not a lot of money in putting dishes up on people's properties anymore.
Well, nobody wants that.
Looks bad.
Plus there's a hardware cost there.
Yeah, a lot
that's
of
true.
So we've covered DirecTV. Dish is the same. Dish and DirecTV, same thing.
Yep.
Dish tried to play that hopper game for a while, and I've got a friend who is on Dish, and he likes it, and I'm sure it's fine. But I'm just not I wanted to get away from all the Dish
Give
companies.
us my prayer. Sorry.
Oh,
I got to learn for a prayer.
well,
Lord, say
okay.
something now.
Lord, help us.
yeah. All right, so we've covered DirecTV, Dish, and cable, and so now we need to get to the new streaming media. the new stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about it. YouTube
Fresh.
TV, Hulu, some of the companies like Sling.
I'll tell you, making the transition from cable to YouTube and Hulu Live, it was hard at first because you had the guide channel. I noticed that now YouTube TV and Hulu Live finally have a guide channel where you can actually see what's coming on and stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I first got out of cable, you would sit there and just go through the channels. You know what I mean? You thumb through the channels a little bit and find something
really
you
know
like.
what was coming on. Yeah.
No, like with the newer stuff, it took once they finally got the live.
That's one of the
guide.
reasons I went to YouTube TV, because they had the guide.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was nice.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. I mean,
It is a big deal.
for me. You want to be able to cycle through and say, "Oh yeah, that's on." Because normally I wouldn't watch a certain movie just to turn it on, but if I see it on live TV, I'd be like, "Oh, I'll check it out." You know,
Yeah.
nothing's on, so
So, yeah,
it's hard to get used to
YouTube,
it first.
Hulu,
Sling,
Sling,
AT&T.
AT&T stuff. Charter's got their own
Apple.
streaming thing. Apple's got their TV
Apple
stuff.
TV Plus.
Netflix.
Disney, yeah.
Disney
Everybody just
Plus.
about
Disney
everybody.
Plus, yeah. There's so many streaming options out there now.
See, that's the problem. You're winding up paying for each of these services.
And so you have enough you have as much in
Yeah.
as you had when you was in DirecTV.
But
$350 a month for
but
all
I-
this stuff
I will
that you
s-
can't watch. You do not watch all that.
You're right, absolutely. Like the only thing that's good about like Netflix and stuff like that is they have those personal or those original shows that you can get, which is nice. And usually they're movie quality shows. So I don't know if cable really offers that. HBO, because you can get HBO
Actually,
separate and stuff.
Charter or Spectrum does have some TV
Originals.
series that are
Really?
originals.
Didn't know that.
So, but the thing about it is we pay for all this streaming stuff, all these services, and there's no way we can take advantage of all of them. And so
No, we
basically we're
couldn't.
just paying for it for convenience.
You're right.
It is a convenience. Oh, I've got Netflix. If I want to watch it, I can.
Yeah.
But I don't.
And then, like you said, no boxes, so you can have how many streams for YouTube? 6.
Well, that's the thing.
Anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, you can stream, but that's the other part. You do have to buy some kind of streaming box.
Yep, you got to have some
You
kind of you got to have
or
internet first
smart
and
TV.
foremost. At home, you're going to have internet for this.
Yeah, you'll have to have it
Somehow, or you're going to have to use your cell phone and watch it on your cell phone, and maybe you can stream it from your phone to the TV. I'm not real sure about that,
You
but
can do the Chromecast or the
Yeah.
Apple TV.
but nevertheless, you still got to have internet. You still got a cost incurred. There's an internet cost now and a streaming service cost, and so if you tie those two together, you've got over $100 and something bucks in TV now.
So you really, I mean, to me, if cable really wants to compete, they'd make it cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
They
99
could.
bucks, like they do their initial offers.
yeah, and keep it that
Make
way.
it that way.
Yeah.
99 bucks a month. You would pay for all three: a phone, a cable, and internet.
And Charter now is doing phones as well.
Yeah, they are. They're in the mobile service too.
Yeah.
So, there's several different ways of streaming media. There's ways to get it. My favorite's YouTube, but then again, there's others out there. Some people are Hulu watchers, and they swear by it. I don't know. I think it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Yeah.
It's really whatever you like.
It is. You're right.
And as far as cost goes, they're all about the same.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so there's your options there. But remember, now you've got a service to pay for and internet access.
Yep.
That with DirecTV or with cable, you didn't have to have internet access.
And then,
But what home nowadays doesn't have internet access? Not very many. There are
That's
still
true.
some in the rural areas like
Yeah.
where we live
Yeah.
that they can't get cable back to. Then the only internet they have is if they've got a cell tower somewhere close enough to their property that they can pull off
And
of.
still, that ain't even. Some people still don't have even that. close to
Not
it.
much. And
Yeah.
then there's that service from HughesNet that a lot of
Yeah.
people in
Yeah.
real rural areas
Yeah.
try to use.
Yep.
I've
And
seen
they
that.
say that's just horrible.
Horrible.
So, and I think that's the number one problem that the world needs to solve. No, not the number one. I mean, there's a lot more important problems than internet. Trust me. But
yeah.
for internet, that is the number one problem. They
Yeah.
need to solve the last mile. They need to be able to get internet to the most rural area.
Yeah.
And when they can do that, think of what it'll do. If we could get internet to the entire world, and no matter where you were, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Counties would not have to have schools. They could all do it online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
College could all be
Save
online.
a ton of money.
Yeah. Think about your property taxes if we didn't have to build schools.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, Now, I'm not an advocate for that because I still believe there's a social aspect here that we need to be able to go to school and see each other and do.
There would be rolling, jerks to each other.
But then again, there are some people who do homeschooling and the social interaction, they have to do it a different way. But I still think there's a need for school. But nevertheless, you could save a ton of money if we could stream everything. Matter of fact, with this quarantine, you know as well as I do, people are starting to use Zoom.
Yep.
They're starting to do all kinds of live streaming. Yeah. People are live streaming now more than they ever have. Matter of fact, I just went online to try to buy some live streaming equipment. You can't find it anywhere. Try to find a webcam now. Try to buy a webcam. There ain't none.
Yeah.
And even some of the sites that I went to shop, they even put on there a little thing that says, there are more people live streaming now than ever. And so a lot of the stuff that we would have normally, we're out of.
Yeah. It's crazy, and it's going into a different generation just because of the quarantine.
And I think that that's going to become a norm. I think that we're going to start live streaming, and we're going to start doing more stuff like that, Zoom meetings and not traveling and doing as much as we used to.
I'm starting to see a lot more video type podcasts too. People podcasting but doing video, and they never did that. Of course, they have to now because they're in separate spots. But.
All right, so then what do you use to stream with? What device do you use to stream with?
Well, there isn't but one, in my opinion, and I've used them all. Well, not all of them, but I've used a lot, and I like the NVIDIA Shield. The NVIDIA Shield has enough power, and it's got enough guts in it to do what it needs to do and not hiccup and freeze and act crazy.
I have to agree. It is fast and it is nice.
Yeah.
Especially the newest one, the remote is phenomenal.
And you have to have Apple TV, they're cool and all that, but you really, really need, for the things that I do, I need an Android TV box.
Yeah.
And this is the only place you'll hear me say I need an Android. And that's because it lets me do things that the others won't.
Right. Just don't hiccup any.
Well, the Apple TV is great. Don't get me wrong. It's channel guide and everything's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like
the
Apple
remote
TV.
is
the remote's horrible. Apple need to redesign that.
That is the worst device ever.
I don't understand that remote at all. You get so mad at it, you just want to throw it through the wall.
It's so frustrating.
Yes, NVIDIA Shield is fabulous. It does. Nice. I'm going to say there, it doesn't hiccup. The services that you use sometimes might, but it has plenty of power, and it does everything it needs to do. It's not like a Fire Stick or any of those. The Fire Stick's a great product, but it's not got the power that it needs to do what we do with. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit, what we do with them. But the NVIDIA Shield, number one in my opinion.
I mean, a lot of people use Fire Sticks, which I think are really slow.
They are.
They are slow. And then Roku sticks, too.
And even your smart TVs, they're slow and clunky, too.
And a lot of them don't have the applications that you need to be able to do what you need to do. So
that's true.
Android TV, you got to have an Android box, and there isn't but one, NVIDIA Shield.
That's what I recommend.
See, I don't have that. I've had the Roku and this one we just said.
Fire Stick, yes. The Roku is fine, but then again, its operating system is pretty well locked down.
I don't use it that often.
It used to be really good.
It used to be all right, but they've pretty well jacked it up a lot.
I just got me a new Samsung TV.
Yeah.
Like a Whopper. It's awesome. But I use my actual smart TV to do all my stuff, which is pretty good. It moves pretty quick and stuff. I don't have that many issues, but I do see some spots when I'm watching, especially on the Apple TV stuff I'm watching, it'll kind of stop and go. So.
But NVIDIA Shield, they got one, I got one. If you're gonna do any kind of,
I'm telling you, I'm replacing all my boxes with the
Shield.
How much are they? Let everybody know.
They're $149 normally. I think Best Buy had been selling them on sale for $129. That's where I bought mine.
I bet you can't get one now.
Probably not.
Oh, you can, but it'll take you 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, NVIDIA Shield, if you're looking into a streaming box. So the streaming box will bring us now to the next topic, which is legal versus illegal.
Yeah.
Gray versus not gray. Let's call it that, not legal versus illegal, because it's really not.
Some is gray.
Yeah,
gray. You're not really
just
sure.
Don't know.
Or there's no law for it.
And what we're talking about is IPTV.
Yep.
IPTV is a great thing, and if you'll do your research, if you go to the web, you'll find all kinds of IPTV providers. Now, which can you trust? Well, that's the problem.
And it's
some
not
you
always
can.
100%.
Yeah, it's not 100%. I've
No, it's
used a
not.
bunch, and I have yet to find one that is 100%.
Right.
None of them
Yeah.
are. There's some of them that I used to use are not there anymore,
Yeah.
and
That's the other thing.
and that's the thing too, that they're there for a while and then they vanish, which makes you wonder if it's really legit or if it's a gray area, and it is gray because
Yeah.
the stuff they provide is stuff that
I'll tell you right
you
now,
probably shouldn't have access to unless you were paying for it.
the Fire Stick wouldn't be as popular and sold as many
True,
as they have
true.
if people wasn't using it for Cody.
That's it. The Fire Stick
that's
would
true.
never have sold nearly what it sold,
No.
if they could, unless they put Cody on it. And that's when I used to go to Best Buy, and they would limit you to 2 or 3 of those things because
Yeah.
everybody was buying them out as fast as they could put them on the shelf.
Yep.
You're right. Absolutely.
So, but Cody is one of them. It's still there. Not some people are still using it. Some people aren't.
Which Cody is legal, just so everybody knows.
Sure,
'cause
Cody's-
some people don't
Cody's
know
fabulous.
that. It's the extensions that you put on the add-ons. It depends on what you add on.
That makes it
Yeah.
questionable.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not, yeah.
Actually, Cody was developed by Microsoft. It was Microsoft's Xbox Media Center
Yep.
at one time. It was an
Oh,
Xbox.
didn't know
thing.
that.
Yeah,
It's not.
and they just got tired of fooling with it, and the code found its way online, and somebody took it and ran with it. And now it's Cody. It's cool. There used to be several extensions you could use, and there was a time that it was the real deal.
It was the best.
You
yeah,
could
at one
find
time.
you could find about anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
install anything.
even first runs that you never find anywhere else. But again, some of the add-ons and some of the places where you would go to get these things, they finally started disappearing and moving and changing, and
Yeah.
it becomes such a headache to try to
Yeah.
keep up with it that people just kind of
You almost
Well,
have,
I
you
just
almost
kinda
have
went
to
away
be a
from it.
nerd to keep up with it all.
yeah. If you're not a geek and you're not into that, you're not going to dig any of this IPTV stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's too complicated.
It
If
is.
if you just want to go and turn on the TV and watch TV, then you need to stick with regular cable. Something like a YouTube TV will be fine for you.
Right.
Any of the streaming services that you pay for.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking, well, I think I like this IPTV, and you think you're just going to turn it on and it's going to work today just like it does tomorrow, just like it does next week, it ain't going to.
Right.
Well, and also if you're paying for quality,
Yeah.
IPTV is not the way to go.
No.
It's for people who got the cord and want to be really cheap.
yeah.
But we have World Wireless. Is that what it's called?
I
Wireless
guess.
Wireless World.
Here in
Over in
town,
town.
yeah.
And I remember getting it a long while back, and they used to play. Used to be able to play movies and stuff. And they did an update to it, and all of a sudden it started being slow and things happen. I mean, like you said, things change because they're doing things, and
Yeah.
it's cheap. You're paying for cheaper stuff, so it's
Right.
part of it.
So, IPTV's great, and if you do your research, you'll find plenty of them out there, and you'll find some that are really good, and then you'll
Yeah.
find some that are really shady. And how do you tell the difference? You just have to geek around and figure
You're
it
right.
out.
Figure out what you like. Now, I'll say this too about the IPTV. You'll notice when you turn to certain channels, sometimes there'll be something they pull from like PlayStation View or
Yeah.
from Netflix. Or
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it. Somehow they're doing it legally right now. Until there's a
Well, we
law.
think. We don't know.
Well, you're paying for a service, so you
We don't
assume.
advocate
We're paying
doing
them,
any
but
of
we don't know how they're
and,
doing it.
and they're actually out in the open, which I guess I can't say much.
Which I did see on YouTube, not TV, but YouTube itself.
Mhm.
One of the guys who was big in the game, big in that IPTV world, was busted by the feds, and
Oh.
he lost about everything he had, and they even
Wow.
took his phones. And so, yeah, let's just call it
It's
what
a
it
gray
is.
area.
It's gray, but it's
Yeah.
pretty well black. And so just if you're going to do it, if you are interested in IPTV, I would suggest a VPN. For you folks who don't know what a VPN is, I don't use one myself because I think it slows you down some, but it will protect you. It'll hide your traffic across your internet provider, so they really won't know where you're going or what you're doing.
Yeah, also not just because it's not just for trying to be illegal.
I'm
Everybody
not trying to advocate
Yeah,
doing
it's-
anything
It's
wrong,
for
but
protection.
I mean
too.
It is for protection,
VPNs are fine, and they're very legal, and there's nothing wrong with them. It just basically protects your traffic from the outside world, from anybody being able to see it.
Yes.
So if you're going to do IPTV, since it's so gray, we don't know if it's good or if it's bad. We think we know, but I would suggest a VPN. That way it just protects you and your provider won't know where you're going or what you're doing. Plus, some providers, Charter and some of those others, I have heard they will
slow the traffic.
They will slow the traffic down. As a matter of fact, they will pretty well send you some nasty letters if they figure out what you're doing. So the best thing is to VPN yourself off, and then it doesn't matter. Which really and truly, I think one day we'll all be running VPNs.
Yeah, well, especially with all because right now, some of the stuff you may buy is across seas, and you don't know what you're getting. Like you said, if it is across seas or something like that,
right.
So you definitely want to watch out for that stuff because you don't know who's trying to get into your systems and stuff and get your information.
So speeds needed to stream. I've got 200 down and 20 up, and sometimes YouTube freezes on me.
Yeah.
And it depends, who all's using the wireless in your house, or if you're wired or wireless. And I suggest being wired if you're going to watch a video, because it's directly into the router. You don't have no
interference.
No weirdness going on.
You know what I got?
What?
I know you got a gig. Shut up.
I got 300 down and 300 up.
I thought you had a gig.
No, he's too cheap.
Oh, he's too cheap.
He bought the cheaper
Cheapo.
service.
I didn't do that one. I could have done it, but man, it was $70 and I was doing it for 50, and it's plenty for what I do. I don't do as much as you.
20 more bucks and you're getting a gig.
Yeah.
Up and down.
I know, but when am I going to be using it? Well, a game more. If I'm twitching,
you're going to start twitching.
You'll
need
it.
See,
you could have done it a lot quicker.
That's true. I didn't do the gig because it was $20 more.
He's a millennial. One of these days he'll learn.
But still, it's pretty fast, even up speeds.
Yeah, I got 200, but I just went to 400 though.
Well, you definitely need to get on Holston. Move to where I'm at.
I'm just going to run my own fiber. I'm going to run my own fiber to the backbone.
Is it going to be illegal?
Yeah, you talk about when you're talking about speeds and wireless speeds and stuff like that. It helps to have a very good router.
Yeah, it does.
You can buy these cheap routers. They're okay.
Yeah, they'll get the job done.
They'll get some of the job done. But if you really want quality of service and speed, you need to spend some decent money on a router.
Yeah, man,
you spent too much.
I spent $400 on a router.
Oh,
mine's got Wi-Fi 6 though.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I did $80 for mine. I'm trying to explain to people you got to pay a pretty good price if you want.
Yeah,
something.
You got to pay anywhere from $80 to $200 for a good router.
If anybody's listening that doesn't do anything in computers or IT, you need to realize you pay for what you get.
Yep.
So I just want you to understand that you pay for what you get. So if you're going to pay more, you're going to get better.
But that's
better
true
quality.
in anything. You pay for what you get.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm putting some floor in my house right now, and of course I bought the cheap floor. Mm-hmm. I was talking to the guy putting it down, and he was having a hard time, and I was like, I guess that's because that's not the most expensive. He just looked at me. He said, yeah. I said, you get what you pay for, right? I said, but I couldn't really justify spending a lot of money on something I'm going to walk on. So
I get it.
So, I mean, and I'm only the one going to see it. Nobody else is going to see it anyway, so who cares? Me and the cat. And the cat don't care.
That's true.
You going to have the cat on your Twitch channel?
Probably.
Sit up there next to you?
That's right. You're going to sit right there next to me. So we've covered routers, get a decent router, and we've also covered wired versus wireless. Go wired if you can.
There's some places you can't, and I get that.
Yeah, there's some places you can't, and it'll work fine. It's just if you have several people on your wireless at the same time, it will slow down and bog down. When you're wired in, you're directly into the modem.
Well, wired's always better.
Always. Can't beat the wire.
So that brings us to the part of our program.
Oh, hold up. Are we going to do this? Do we have it?
Last week I didn't have it. This time I do.
Do we have it? Do we have it?
Come on now. Yeah.
It's time for the Millennials Fun Facts.
Millennial Fun Facts. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Of the day. Again.
Yeah. Man, that makes me want to rap. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. Well, it makes us want to puke.
I would spit a rap off.
It makes us feel like we're watching porno. But
it does sound like a porno song.
Well, it's not.
And it also, this is our least favorite part of the show. So let's go.
We know a lot of people look forward to it. So
yeah, exactly.
How do you know that's a lie? Nobody looks forward to this.
Over here
I'm trying to help him.
Thanks. Boost my ego. I need it to be bigger. Okay. So I've got about an hour and a half of this.
Oh, Lord. No, you don't. I got the controls over here. No, you don't.
He'll mute me when he gets tired of it. So cutting.
Okay, let's see.
Oh no!
He's muted now.
Oh, back on. Okay. So cord cutting history, current scenarios, and what to expect in the future. I don't know if I'll go that far, but cutting the cord or canceling. Hold up. Let me go down here. Sorry, I'm already on the spot. I'm already on the spot. History of cutting the cord. Here's a short history of how cord cutting actually started. Hold on to your guns. This is a pretty darn interesting, I promise. Before I delve deep into the history of cord cutting, I must define what cord cutting exactly is. For the sake of this post, in simple words, cord cutting in the... I can't even...
This is what...
Make me laugh. It's y'all's fault.
This is what cord cutting is when you do this right here. I just cut him off. I just cut the cord.
His cord is cut.
Okay, so let's get down to it. Okay, cord cutting started somewhere between late 2007 and early 2008. It was at this juncture that cord cutting moved from just an experimental activity to a more radical movement. So how did cord cutting start in 2007, 2008? There are two major events that took place during 2007, 2008, which made streaming, I cannot read, content easier.
And there was a fun fact for the millennial.
Wait, no. Wait. One was the release of the first Roku player and Apple TV device, which totally transformed the way viewers watched videos, changing it from being a complacent computer-based activity to a more portable pursuit on the TV, since these devices can just be plugged into the TV and content can be streamed instantly without the need for any additional equipment like a set-top box like cable would be, or an antenna, like we talked about earlier, as required by traditional cable TVs or satellite TV services. I'm boring the crap out of these guys. Another major event in 2008 was the addition of apps for Netflix, Hulu, Amazon on devices like Roku and Apple TV, which enabled providing great video content to users to their convenience.
Wow.
Is that the fun fact of the day?
Was it fun?
Not really, no.
Well, then, in your opinion, it was
I thought it was thrilling.
Yeah, y'all are
You got a
high.
big spot on your forehead.
That's where I was beating it against this microphone.
Thanks, man.
Well,
You're
thank you,
You're
millennial.
supposed to support me. I
Well,
called you the GOAT earlier.
That was Eddie's
Fun
Yeah.
facts with the millennial.
Support me,
No Fun
millennials.
Facts of the Day.
Fun facts.
Send us a comment. Let us know how much that sucked. We'd like to know.
I'm sure I'll get plenty. Hey, and send a comment if you learned something from my fun facts, because I would.
Well, there's
really
nobody
appreciate
that
that.
learns anything from your fun facts.
Yeah, that's true.
You didn't learn anything? 2007, 2008? Did you know that?
So
Yeah,
just
I was here.
So just
Remember, I'm
remember.
a fossil.
Did you start it at
I
2007?
did, yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Hey,
What?
did you start it in 2007,
I
2008?
think I
Geeks,
did.
man. We
I think
started
I
as
used
soon as
the Roku.
we figured it out, man. We were on it.
You're right, you
Geeks,
guys.
you know.
I don't know if I
What we
did.
do.
or not.
I used
No, you
Roku and then Chromecast.
I couldn't afford a smart TV and stuff then, so
Well, it wouldn't have done you any good.
Yeah. Maybe you should buy dumb TV.
I obviously can't afford.
You could
TV.
operate. You wouldn't be able to operate a smart TV.
I am a smart man.
I don't know, Forrest.
I'm not a
So-
smart man.
The takeaway from this, folks, is if you're going to go cut the cord and get away from cable and go to streaming media,
Yeah.
remember, you're not saving a lot of money, but you are getting some choice out of it.
You have options.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
convenience, choice,
yeah.
something you don't have with a lot of providers.
That's
That you
true.
just get what they give you.
And it is nice when you're out at somewhere shopping or something like that, and your wife's shopping, you can turn on your little phone and watch YouTube TV.
And it is nice when you're like the millennial over here and you can sponge off people and get their YouTube
Yeah,
TV to use.
Hey, if they give it, it's a gift.
Oh, okay.
It's the gift that keeps giving,
I reckon.
and I keep taking.
Abe must be the giver.
I am the giver.
The giver of gifts.
He's the gift giver. What the hell's my gift at? What
Sorry about that.
You have to give him something.
Okay, so for the question of the day, I guess the question of the day would be, what do you use?
Yeah, what streaming service do you use?
Yeah.
For you folks that are outside the charter area, what is your cable company? What if you use one? What do you use? We'd like to get a poll to see what is
What
the
your speeds
most.
are.
Yeah, what's your internet speeds too where you live? That'd be cool too.
Yep.
So comment, please. We'll try to put a poll on YouTube so that you can let us know what you use.
Sounds good.
All right. So
Sounds fun.
anybody got anything else? Because we pretty much covered the cord. We
Yep.
pretty much cut it right in
I'm
half.
tapped out.
Cut the cord. You're done.
Teacher already did some teaching, so.
I don't know about that. But anyway, remember, again, we're going to say it again. Visit our webpage, StrayTopix.com. Shoot us an email at info@StrayTopix.com. Visit us at Facebook.com/StrayTopix, Twitter.com/StrayTopix. You'll see us on YouTube. We did film this one, so you'll be able to see our faces. Everybody wave at the camera. Hey, everybody. You ain't waving, bro. Wave.
Yeah, wave.
And
Hello, everybody.
yeah. Yeah. And
That was my
that was
terrible Mickey Mouse.
It was very terrible. Yeah.
Trademark.
Yeah. And leave us a comment. Again, we really like to hear from y'all. And for the ones that have commented, we really appreciate it. And comment again. Send us another comment. Let us know what you thought about this one. So, nobody got anything else, right?
Nope.
Final call. Nope. Anybody got anything else?
We are all good.
All right. With that being said, I am Troy.
I'm Abe.
And I am Eddie.
The Millennial.
See you next time on the
StrayTopix.